nigga don't start no show on X's.
That'll tell you just text on the real. On the real. You know what I'm saying? DC? Yeah, it give praise and esteem and honor to the Most High Yahweh. That nigga say, John, go on and get to him. That nigga say, you can't start without that.
You talking about the Exodus, nigga.
You know what crazy? We ain't always start with that, though. All over the place. Then I just settled on that. Just said when this is going to use that and nothing else.
So you started the show
but since he did that there, I got a trick for this nigga.
Right.
No, I got a trick for this nigga. You go on Ecclesiastes 12 and 11. We got a trick for that nigga. Somewhere else. 12 and 9. Funny, smarty hard nigga. We still gonna give him John 5:39 though.
Ecclesiastes?
Yeah, get 12 and 9, man. Sit on me, pot. Hey, Tubby.
It say, and moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs.
He did what?
He sought out and set in order many proverbs.
Anybody remember what the Hebrew word for preacher is? Look at you.
Oh, Lamar, this teacher. It ain't
No, it's a whole word. It's been a while since that word has been mentioned out loud.
Is it just start with P?
Yes, it does, ma'am. Yes, it does.
I can't remember.
It is coalesce.
There you go.
That is someone who is a arranger of sentences. So when you see him say that he said in order many proverbs, that means he arranged many sentences. Go ahead, sir.
It says the preacher sought out to find acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth.
Now I'll give him John 5:39 and make that hit a little bit harder, because that's what he would tell him to do, to arrange some sentences. Well,
even words of truth.
Even words of truth. And what word for truth would it be there? It would be words of faith. It would be words of faith. See, that's the key thing, right? Because everybody say the law of the truth. You got to remember what I told you last night. And when you looked at the beast of your enemy, the ox and ass of your enemy, and then the ox and ass of your brother, you were supposed to show the same level of mercy to your brother that you showed to your enemy. Ain't that what the law said? So this is showing you the spiritual concept of what Yahuah is all about right there in the law. Because see, niggas overlook that. Because Exodus 23 said clear day. If your enemy, he made sure to specify if it was your enemy that you do the same thing. And he came back in Deuteronomy and said if it was your brother, for you to do the same thing. So y'all was telling you to have mercy on the just and the unjust. Just like what Mashiach said, which is this is what Paul mean when they say the law is spiritual. See, niggas so quick to the law is the truth. No, he said your word is truth, your word is faith. That's why he say without it, it's impossible to please him. That's why all these niggas going to hell, because their faith is in the law, and their faith is not in Mashiach. That's what they seeking to be justified by. That's why niggas get mad when you say that. Just like what you mentioned earlier, because I had told you I was on the phone with you when I seen it. But that's real talk though. I've always said this here too. That's why I say we know Martin Luther King Jr. was sour because he was cheating on his wife. You know what I'm saying? No, just on the simple fact that if you with a woman and you can't be faithful to that woman, see, you don't understand what it means when you cheat on somebody. It shows you're a liar. Shows you're disloyal. Shows you have no credibility. You know what I'm saying? It speaks to your character. You know what I'm talking about? So if you can do that to someone who you can see, then I know you're not going to be loyal and faithful and credible with Elohim. How is that possible? That's not possible. That is not possible. If you see a nigga, just like you said, some of y'all done seen it. Some of y'all done seen niggas who was dealing with their word that were cheating on their wife or doing some stuff they ain't had no business doing. And you also seen coinciding clearly with that behavior in itself that they were wicked, that they were inconsistent and unfaithful in multiple different areas as well. How you gonna be solid with Elohim? You can't even be solid with your wife. Do you know if you cheat on somebody, you gotta look them in the face and lie every day? You know the tactic, the first lie you telling? By not telling them you slept with somebody else. You know the effort, and that's the same purpose why you say if you try to cover your sins, you won't prosper. That's why I mention this. Like in this society, what niggas always talking about? Niggas hiding their phone, don't know what, want nobody be in their phone, because you have something you trying to hide. So if you ain't got nothing to hide, you don't care. You know what I'm saying? You can grab my phone, do what you want to with it. What I care for ain't nothing in here. You know what I'm saying? Unless you old freaking nigga like take naked pictures and stuff, keep it in your phone. Ain't nothing in there. You know what I'm talking about? I'm dead serious though. But that's what niggas do when you cheat on your wife. What you gotta do? You gotta cover your tracks. See, I always believe in telling the truth. You know why? Because you ain't gotta remember nothing. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to try to cover nothing up. You ain't gotta try to hide nothing. You ain't gotta try to be slick. You gotta do none of that. That's too much work. See, to be a liar and a cheater and unfaithful, that's too much work. Especially before the word, because I like to smoke weed. That type of stuff blow my high. You know what I'm saying? I'm for real though. Doing all that there, I blow my high. I ain't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? I told her the other day. But if it wasn't for the word, bro, the word is why I have had such long patience in a lot of areas and a lot of things. Because if it wasn't for the word, bro, I used to smoke weed. And I told him to get away from me, my nigga. Because you blowing my high with this. I was high all the time. For no earthly reason. There wasn't even no reason to smoke. Nigga say, you woke up today? Let's smoke some weed. It's 2 o'clock? Let's smoke some weed. It rained 5 minutes ago. Let's smoke some weed. You got some new shoes? Yeah. Let's smoke some weed. Nigga, there's anything excuse to just smoke some weed. You know what I'm talking about? So then if nigga with that rallies or with drama and all this other stuff, what is that stuff gonna do? You blowing my high, man. You blowing my high. I like them white boys on half baked. This nigga get so high, he telling stories about Rottweilers that didn't even happen. You know what I'm talking about? That's the level of high that the nigga used to want to be at. The way you telling stories about stuff, this didn't even happen. You know what I'm talking about? Killer was born to a 3-legged. This didn't happen. You know what I'm talking? See, a lot of y'all ain't seen Half Baked. You seen Half Baked? That was my favorite movie. I could watch that right now. Don't even be high. That joint's still funny. You know what I'm talking about? But that's how it was. But now you got to sit back and look at your high should be on the word of Yahuah, the way your tolerance for nonsense and things of that nature will be shorter. You know what I'm talking about? You blowing my shalom right now. I ain't got time to be fooling with you. Nah, you got to look at it. Come on, give him John 5:39. Then we go to Exodus 23. That nigga DC text that. Let me see. You ain't finna skip that, nigga. What you think this is? You seen it? I ain't mad at it.
It says, search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they will sanctify you.
Yeah, man.
And you will not come to me that you might have life. So I receive not honor from men.
I don't receive.
But I know you that you have not the love of Elohim in you. Mm-hmm. I'll come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. Mm-hmm. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. Mm-hmm. But how can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that cometh from Elohim only?
Pause. Now let's hit this Exodus 23 and 10. And let's deal with what it is right there. Because we read some of it last night, but we're going to hit it right this here real quick like before we slide on out the way. We ain't got the rush. We ain't got the African lady coming for you. We can't go back around that no more. African lady say you banned. Banned. Say you niggas too loud. I don't like your churn.
It say in 6 years thou shalt sow the land.
In 6 what?
6 years thou shalt sow the land.
In 6 what?
6 years.
What after that?
And shall gather the fruits thereof.
And do what?
Gather the fruits thereof.
That go along with what he just read earlier before, right? But see, this is what we gonna do. I want you to go right back around there to Galatians chapter 6. And I want you to give me verse 6. He's saying 6 years. I want y'all to keep in mind about the 6 years and year 7. We ain't finna get extra literal about it. How some people like to get with it. Just follow along with me though. Hey, hell. Galatians 6 and 6. Leave cuz. You trying to freeze a nigga.
That niggas over there.
Yeah, over there ain't over here. They alright. They ain't complaining. Huh? You said that 2 seconds ago?
2 seconds.
I already know. I'll be considered. It say, let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teaches in all good things.
Read it again.
It say, let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teaches in all good things.
Ain't that what Ecclesiastes 12 say? That's where you sit back and live. If you taught in the word, then you're supposed to communicate good things. You know what I'm talking about? But see, it's a lot of niggas who claim to be taught in the word communicating straight stupidity. Come on with it though, man. I heard something today, but I'm gonna keep it to myself.
It said, be not deceived. Elohim is not mocked.
He ain't what?
Mocked.
He ain't what?
Mocked.
Oh.
For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap.
So that man is not mocked. See, that's what a lot of people think it is. They see the thing is a game. See, he didn't read the extra verse in Judges 10. The people came back again and said, yeah, we sinned, and do with us what you want to do with us. Just save us this time. And he did it. You know what I'm talking about? But see, most people think, that's what I was talking about last night. See, most people think you could try that man. I can do this, and I can do that, and I can do this. He'll have merciful. But what he say? He's not what?
He is not mocked.
Don't play with him. You know why he ain't mocked? Because he told you in the law, don't you tempt me. Don't try me. You know what I'm saying? So we feel like we could try him. Don't try that man. Go ahead.
It says, for whatsoever man soweth he shall reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall reap corruption.
You sow to your flesh, you going to reap what?
Corruption.
You going to hell.
But he that soweth the Ruach shall of the Ruach reap everlasting life.
You going to live forever. Now come back and read that Exodus 23 and 10 again.
It says, in 6 years thou shalt sow and shalt sow the land and shalt gather the fruits thereof.
Read verse 11.
But the 7th year thou shalt let it rest and lie still.
Let it rest and do what?
Lie still.
Let it rest and do what?
Lie still.
What else?
That the poor of thy people may eat.
That the who may eat?
The poor of my people may eat.
Go ahead.
And what they leave, the beasts of the field shall eat. In like manner thou shalt deal with the vineyard and with the olive yard.
What is this 7th year representative of? According to the law?
Jubilee.
The year of release. The year of release. You know, Jubilee different from Jubilee and the year of release are two different things. Jubilee come every 50 years. The year of release is every 7 years. Two different things. Jubilee is mentioned in multiple different. Remember, Jubilee also means trumpet. Now I'm gonna ask y'all a question as we proceed further. Would any of y'all believe? Well, let me get to the verse before we get. Let me not move too fast. So keep that in mind. So in year 7, what would year 7 be representative of if he say that this is when the land gonna rest and lie still? A Shabbat, right? So let's look at Hebrews chapter 4 and pick me up at verse 1. Don't step on that book. Don't do her like that. And that's what you get for falling out like that. It didn't work out well for you. I read when no one's looking. I read whole sentences. Whole sentences.
Hebrews 4
and 1. Listen what he say.
It said, let us therefore fear, lest a promise.
Let us what?
Fear.
Why?
Lest the promise being left us is entering into his rest. Any of you should
hold on, entering into his what?
Entering into his rest.
Didn't he say in the 7th year the poor would lay down and rest and be still? Now you know what that word poor gonna be, right? The poor of our people, you know that's going to be the needy, those subject to oppression. Go ahead.
It says, enter into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. For unto us was the Basor preached.
Unto us was what?
The Basor preached.
Gospel was preached unto us.
As well as unto them.
But what happened?
But the word preached did not profit them.
Why?
Not being mixed with faith of them that heard it.
And that word don't profit them. Guess what? Some people sat in here and heard the same word right along with you. They ain't get no gain from it because they ain't believe it. Shoot. God forbid it. And you sitting here right now ain't getting no gain from it because you don't believe it. Because at the end of the day, that's what people's problem is. They don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? They try to come in with extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, before, like, a lot of brews be big talking about meditation. But when you look in the word and see what meditate really means, ain't even what we look at it in contemporary terms. You know what I'm saying? It really means to utter or to growl. You know what I'm saying? Or and in some instances to think upon the word itself. See, now he mentioned something with the stronghold, right? And spelling out that word thorns. See, that first thing that's supposed to click in any of your minds was 2 Corinthians chapter 10, where he say the casting down of strongholds, to the bringing to the obedience to captivity of any thought that exalts itself against Mashiach. See, strongholds are things that you use to fortify a place. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody come through and attack. See, the word can't come through and get through your stronghold because you're holding on to things that you ought not hold on to. See, it has said it many times before, man. It's always a heart thing. It's about your heart. The heart is the issue. Niggas' hearts are not clean. Niggas' hearts are not right. So this is why they're not having success. And why is their hearts clean and not right? It's because they don't believe it. Hello, Henry. You have been freed. Go ahead, sir.
It says, for we would have believed, do enter into rest.
We that have what?
Believe, do enter into his rest.
And what else?
As he said, as I've sworn by my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world.
Mm-hmm.
It says, for he spake in a certain place of the 7th day on this wise. And Elohim did rest on the 7th day from all his works.
Yes, sir.
And in this place again, if they shall enter into my rest, seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached enter not in because of unbelief.
See, the first people didn't enter into that rest because they didn't believe it. And that's taking you back to when they were in the wilderness. They didn't believe it. Go ahead, though, man.
It says again, he limited a certain day, saying.
No, that's good because he told you there remains a rest for the people of Elohim, right? Now he said the poor are the people that they will eat and that they will rest and lie still. So let's look at something with that. I want you to grab me James chapter 2. Pick me up at about verse 3, I suppose. Golly. Nigga have to hold their hand like this here, man, because you hold it lower above the heart, the blood rushes. And it hurts, son.
You tell us, James?
2 and 3.
Watch it back there.
I see the holes, man. Maybe the blood done dried or something, man. I don't know.
Probably. Either way, you waited too long to do it.
Nah, you can wait about 2 days.
You got good circulation.
Yeah, I do, because it's throbbing, because the blood's still pumping. On a weight plate.
James 2.
2 and 3.
It says, and ye have respect to him that weareth the gay clothing, and said unto him, sit thou here in a good place, and say to the poor, stand thou there, or sit here under my footstool. Are you not then partial in yourselves, and are you become judges of evil thoughts? Hearken, my beloved brethren.
Listen.
Have not Elohim chosen the poor of this world rich in faith?
The who?
The poor of this world
The
rich
needy
in
and
faith,
oppressed. Rich in what?
rich in faith.
Go ahead.
And heirs of the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him.
Mm-hmm.
But ye have despised the poor. Do not rich men oppress you and draw you before the judgment seat?
Now listen, right? He said that the poor would be able to eat. What are the things you think the poor would be in there eating? Well, let's look and see. Give me Isaiah 65, man. Probably about verse 5. After Isaiah 65 and 5, give me Revelation chapter 2, man. Pick me up about verse 5.
It says, will say, stand by thyself. Come not near to me.
We're going too high. Drop down to verse 7.
It says, your iniquities and the iniquities of your fathers together, saith Yahuah, which have burned incense upon the mountain, and blasphemed me upon the hills. Wherefore I will measure the former work into their bosom.
He'll do what?
Measure their former work into the bosom.
See, right there, he told you you're going to reap what you sow right then, because I'm going to measure that work right in your chest.
Thus says Yahuah, as the new wine is found in the cluster.
As a new what?
The new wine is found in the cluster, and the one said, destroy it not, for a blessing is in it. And so will I do for my servant's sake, that I may not destroy all of them. And I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Yehudah, and an inheritor of my mountain. And mine elect shall inherit it, and my servant shall dwell there.
Drop down to verse 12.
It says, therefore I will number you to the sword, and ye shall bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, you did not answer.
When he what?
When I called, you did not answer.
And what else?
And when I spake, you did not hear.
And what else?
But did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delight not.
Go ahead.
Therefore thus says Yahuah of Elohim, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry.
My servants are what?
Shall eat, but ye shall be hungry.
They're what?
My servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry.
And what else?
Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty.
What you think they gonna be eating and drinking? Give me Matthew 5 and 6. What you think they gonna be eating and drinking? Anybody got any idea what you think they gonna be eating and drinking? Well, let's look and see. Because he said, now he talking about you going back to the land. He talking about the kingdom right here. Because he said, my servant's going to eat and drink. We didn't read the verse. He said, and I'm going to call him by another name. I told you that before. When that man get back here, we won't be called Yasharal no more. He's going to call us by another name. You know why you know this? Because you should know what the book say. They will no longer say Yahuah liveth, what brought up the children of Yasharal up out of the land of Mizraim, but Yahuah lived that brought the children of Yasharal up out of the north country. You got to remember, it didn't even the Mashiach say that his name is not going to be Yahushua when he come back. He said, I'll write in the forehead of those who he deliver my new name. Because remember, all our names are representative of what? Of an action. You know what I'm saying? The name of Yasharal is you have power to rule as Elohim with Elohim and man. Do you think that's going to be the case when he get back here? It's going to be totally different. Totally different. Yahushua is Yahuah's salvation. He done already done that. Don't you think his name going to be different upon his return? It's going to be different. He's doing something different. I heard dudes arguing today. And the nigga tried it. Nigga tried to use Jeremiah 23:5. He said that's David. Well, he say under David he'll raise up a branch who will execute judgment and justice in the earth. So the dude had to acknowledge that if it's a branch, it's a descendant of David. You know what I mean? So then the nigga tried to come back and use Zerubbabel and Yahushua son of Jehozadak. Well, we know that wasn't Zerubbabel. He knows Zerubbabel was of the line of David, but Yahushua son of Jehozadak wasn't. Even though it said he was a king. He's a Levite, so he's canceled. He don't even qualify, so why we having this conversation? But it go to show that people not be taught in the word, and they try to flip things and work things to how they want it to be. To fit it how they want it. To distort what's actually going to occur. Come on, Mari, you can't be throwing your hands in like that like a little girl. Go ahead, man. You seen it?
We tried to be boy Isaiah from the snaps.
He wasn't going for it. Ain't that crazy? He tried to be bold and then threw a hissy fit when he wasn't able to rob.
What did he try to do?
Hey, Mom.
Who's that, James 4, right?
I ain't say James 4.
Why am I? I got 4 places here. Oh, Matthew.
Matthew 5 and 6.
Yeah, I'm here. It say, blessed are they with hunger and thirst after righteousness.
Hunger and what?
Thirst after righteousness.
Yeah,
but they shall be filled.
We read last night, didn't Jeremiah say, open your mouth, I open my mouth wide and you'll fill it? So he said that they gonna eat and they gonna drink. And that his enemies is gonna be hungry and they gonna be thirsty, correct? Before we go to Revelation 2 and 5, get me Joel chapter 3 and pick me up about verse 17. When Mashiach had drunk the wine with his apostles, what did he tell them that he wouldn't do?
Drink again till you meet him.
But the key thing is he said, I won't drink wine with you till I drink it what? New.
New, yeah, we did.
New. And when we have a feast, what we like to do? In those times, what they like to do? They like to sip a little wine and they like to eat a little food.
Feast.
You know what I'm saying? Sip a little wine. Say, drink a little wine for your stomach's sake. Some of these niggas ain't drinking no little wine for their stomach's sake. They drinking a little wine for your stomach, my stomach, niggas around the corner stomach.
Till they vomit.
Till they vomit. Wallow in it. I ain't drunk. Get that vomit off his chin, Steve. I ain't drunk. That's the first thing an alcoholic nigga like to scream when he laid out on the floor and his vomit. He ain't drunk. Nigga done fell down 3 times talking about he ain't drunk. I know how to hold mine. You nigga don't know how to hold your liquor. Say, nigga, everybody had to pull your stinking behind up these stairs. Go ahead.
Joel
3 and 17.
It says, so shall ye know that I am Yahuah your Elohim, which dwell in Zion, my holy mountain. And then shall Jerusalem be Kadash, and there shall no strangers pass through her any more. And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountain shall drop down new wine.
Drop down what?
New wine.
What?
New wine.
And what else?
And the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Yahudah shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of Yahuah, and shall water every valley of Siddim.
You know, it's another thing he said that they would do. They would eat corn. They eat corn and have new wine. Come on to Revelation 2 and 5. Gail.
Revelation 2 and 5. It says, remember therefore from whence thou art fallen, and repent, and do the first work. Or else I will come unto thee quickly, and I will remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repent.
Yeah.
But this thou hast, that thou hatest the deeds of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate.
I hate them too.
He that hath ear, let him hear what the Ruach said unto the assemblies, to him that overcometh will I give to eat of the tree of life.
He give him to eat
what?
What?
Paradise. The tree of life.
Eat the what?
The tree of life,
which
in
is
the midst of paradise.
Which is in the midst of paradise. So when we sit back and he says, the poor of my people will eat and they will rest and be still, he talking about you eating in the kingdom. You know what? Let's get Revelation 19 and 10. That's Abigail. She's picking up stuff off the floor and bringing it on over here.
It says, and I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren, that he have testimony.
Okay, make my bad. 19 and 7.
It says, let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is
so if it's a
righteous.
marriage supper of the Lamb, don't you think the poor or the needy and oppressed would be eating and drinking? Be a joyous occasion, wouldn't you think? He kind of showed you that with the marriage supper in Cana. Nevertheless, come on back to Exodus 23. I was going to pull the verses with the beast laying down in Isaiah 65, but I'll let that live. Are y'all familiar with that in Isaiah where he say the beast going to lay down and not fight with each other? Yeah, you remember that conversation.
Yeah, that's the way he said it.
Nigga sit back, nigga arguing you down like, bro, we're reading it. It's not there. It's not there. I'm not trying to say you're wrong. We just, hey, we look for it. Sound familiar to some people in here too. Was I lying? Am I lying? No, sir. Like this is, that's just one of them instances where you thought it said something it didn't say. To me, it wasn't that big of a deal. It happens. The words sound alike, you know what I mean?
11.
23 and 11.
It said, but the 7th year thou shalt let it rest and lie still, that the poor of thy people may eat, and what they leave in the to the beasts of the field they shall eat. In like manner thou shalt deal with thy vineyard and with thy olive yard.
Well, see, we didn't read Ezekiel 38 where he tell you how the land would be at rest, would he? And that everybody would be dwelling in their tents safely. Because he's trying to lead you something later on down the line in a particular word. Let's look at the next thing. What else would he say?
It says, it says, 6 days thou shalt do thy work, and on the 7th day thou shalt rest.
On the 7th day you what?
Thou shalt rest.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt rest, that thine ox and thy ass may rest, and the son of thy handmaid and the stranger may be refreshed.
Now that the stranger might be what?
Refreshed.
So the stranger get a little bit of salvation too then, huh? Oh, no. Not the stranger get some rest. Somebody been lying.
They can get refreshed too.
He said the law say the stranger got to get refreshed too. Keep on going though. Somebody got to do it.
They'll be refreshed.
It's going to be refreshed.
And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other Elohim, neither let it be heard.
Who remember what circumspect means? From last night. Who remember what circumspect means? Who remember what that Hebrew word for circumspect is? Goes to show what nobody doing it if nobody don't remember. That means that's a shema, to hear with the intent to do, to listen, to hearken, to give heed. Go ahead.
And make no, it say 3 times thou shalt keep a feast to me in the year. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread.
Hold on, 3 times you ought to do what?
Keep the feast of unleavened bread.
Yeah.
And you should keep it 7 days as I commanded thee, in the time appointed in the month of Abib.
Yeah.
For in it thou camest out of Mizraim, and none shall appear before me empty.
Yeah.
And the feast of harvest, the first fruits of thy labor which thou hast sown in the field. And the feast of ingrazing, which is at the end of the year, when thou hast gathered thy laborers out of the field.
Go ahead.
3 times a year, all thy males shall appear before Yahuah Elohim.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread.
You should not what?
Offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread.
Hold on, read that again.
Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread.
What else?
Neither shall the fat of my sacrifice remain until the morning.
What else?
The first of the first fruits of thy land, and thou shalt bring into the house of Yahuah thy Elohim. Thou shalt not seethe a kid in its mother's milk.
All right, cool. Hey, children. No, don't start it. Hey, any of y'all ever heard that that's why you can't eat a cheeseburger? Now to see a kid or a goat, not a cow, a goat in his mother's milk, meaning that you can't take a baby goat and cook him in the same milk that comes from his mama. That's all it means. See, them Jewish people tell you that means you can't eat a cheeseburger, because cheese comes from milk, as if you would know if that patty came from the same mother that was milk for the cheese. But let's go back. I'm going to ask everyone a question. Does anybody believe that Yahushua fulfilled all 3 feast days on the same day? And if so, how did he do it? I'll give you a moment to ponder upon that. Ponder. Because we just read how he said all three years you got to come up, three times a year you got to come up, right? He said Passover, first fruits, and then the gathering. So how did that man fulfill all 3 of those in the same day? Because he fulfilled all 3 of them in the same day.
Passover, because of course he was first lamb.
So we pass that to the side. You know that's a given.
He was the first fruit because he was the son.
Out of who?
Because he was the son. He was the firstborn. He was the first.
Firstborn of what?
He was the firstborn of mankind, the second Adam. The first fruit.
First fruit of what? I mean, you're not being very specific.
I'm saying he was the second Adam. He was the firstborn of mankind. He was the son of
He was the first one being raised to Yahuah.
So there go Pentecost right there. So how did he do tabernacles then?
I was just going to say because he gathered everybody came when he.
Well, let's sit back and see. Let's take the first one, which is the easiest one to see. But before we do that, we got to deal with how you ain't going to mix no blood, no leaven with the blood of the sacrifice, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 4. Lil Henry. Sit down, Lil. First Corinthians 5 and 4. Because I ain't finna be much longer. So I got 30 minutes in. I got about 20 more minutes.
It say, in the name of our Master Yahushua Mashiach, when y'all gathered together, and my Ruach with the power of our Master Yahushua Mashiach, to deliver such a one to the adversary for the destruction of the flesh, that the Ruach may be saved in the day of the Master Yahushua. Your esteeming is not good. Know ye not that little leaven
No, you not that what?
A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump.
No, you not that what?
A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump.
Go ahead.
It says, purge out therefore old leaven.
Do what?
Purge out old leaven.
What does the law say about leaven in your house?
It must be purged out of your house.
Before they did that sacrifice of that lamb in the book of Exodus, what they had to do? Pause. Let's look at it, see it, and see how it go with the law. Line it up. 12 and 5. Exodus. We'll come right back to Corinthians.
It says,
Hey, no, Leah. Don't play with her. That's why she'll keep going.
your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You shall take it out of the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it unto the 14th day of the same month. The whole assembly of the congregation of Yasharal shall kill it even at evening. And they shall take the blood and strike it on the 2 side posts and on the upper posts.
So that's what they're supposed to do with the blood, right? And that was supposed to be their sacrifice, correct? Now let's look at Leviticus 23 and about verse 5, and let's see what he say you supposed to do. Because is the leaven supposed to be out of your house before the Passover sacrifice or after? So this is why he's telling you, don't mix my blood of my sacrifice with leaven. Don't mix the Kadesh with the unkadesh, the profane with the unprofane, the clean with the unclean. Don't mix it. See, we thinking, oh, I got baptized, I drunk the cup. But you still mixing the blood of this man's sacrifice with leaven. What did he tell his apostles and the people? He said, beware of the leaven of the scribes and the Pharisees, which was what? Hypocrisy. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the leaven was the things that were rising up in their heart. And they were mixing that blood with that. That's why he told them in Jeremiah to keep your sacrifices. I don't want them. That's why he told you your feast days, I abhor them and I hate them, because your hands are filled with blood. Because you're doing this service and you bringing these sacrifices, but you bringing them with hypocrisy. You bringing them with leaven. I don't want them. Go ahead.
Leviticus 23. At top.
23 and 5. I don't need all that.
It said the 14th day of the first month that evening is Yahuwah's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yahuwah. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. And the first day ye shall have a Kodash convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire.
Offer a what?
An offering made by fire.
So they go a sacrifice.
7 days. In the 7th day of the Kodash convocation, ye shall do no servile work therein.
Go ahead.
And Yahuah spoke to Moses, saying, speaking to the children of Yasharal, and say unto them, when ye come into the land which I give you.
We didn't read it because it's probably back in Exodus. Because he told you to put that.
The leaven, yeah.
He told you to put that leaven out of your house. Let's go back to 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and pick it up in verse 7 again. All of y'all sit down. Sit down. Yeah, sit down and be quiet. First Corinthians 5 and 7, man.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. 1 Corinthians 5 and 7.
Okay. It says, purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may become a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even the Mashiach, our Passover, is sacrificed for us.
You're what? He's the sacrifice for you. This man just told you don't offer. Did a Mashiach offer his sacrifice with any leaven in it? He was purged of it. So you have to purge yourself if you're going to offer. If the book say that offer your life as a living sacrifice is your reasonable service, a lot of niggas ain't getting right because you bringing leaven with your sacrifice. You mixing that leaven with blood. So you trying to take that man. The book say this man blood is sinless. But for the purging of cleansing of sin, and you bringing sin and trying to mix it with it as if it's going to clean it. And it's not going to happen. So what we looking at is, again, a spiritual concept out of the law. Niggas is breaking the law because they saying they making sacrifices or a partaker by getting baptized or drinking that wine, but they mixing that sacrifice with leaven. So therefore you breaking the law at that point. And that ain't good. Now let's go back and let's look at on a good route how he kept Passover. Let's go to Matthew 26 and 1. Let's see how he did it. Let's keep it simple. Matthew 26 and 1.
It says, it came to pass when Yahuah had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, ye know that after 2 days is the feast of Passover.
It's the feast of what?
Passover.
Feast of what?
Passover.
Uh-huh.
And the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified.
Yeah.
Then assembled together the chief priests, scribes, and the elders of the people into a place of the high priest who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might take Yahushua by subtlety and kill him.
And what?
And kill him.
Now drop me down to verse 52. Not 52, 23.
It said, he answered and said, he that dippeth his hand with me in the dish is the same that shall betray me. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him, but woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born.
Sire, Isaiah, and Leah, go sit down. Go ahead.
It said, then Yahuah, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, thou hast said. And as they were eating, Yahushua took bread and broke it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, take ye, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, drink ye all of it. For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is said for many for the remission
Now
of
I'm asking
sins.
y'all a question. When he got up there on that stage at that Passover lamb, did he present himself before Elohim? So therefore he kept Passover, did he not? But let's look at something else. Go back to that Psalms, what it was, 126. And pick me up in verse 5. Make it 3. Psalm 126 and 3.
It says, Yahuah had done great things for us, wherefore we are glad.
He done what?
Great things.
What are those great things he has done for us? He remitted your sins. He gave you a chance to receive rest. Didn't the Mashiach say, all ye that are heavy laden, come unto me and I will give ye rest? Mm-hmm. He's done great things. Great just means wondrous, mighty things. He's done great things for you. Go ahead.
It said, turn again our captivity, O Yahuah.
Turn again what?
Our captivity.
Captivity is exile. That's what that means. Captivity does not necessarily mean you are literally captive. You've been exiled. What exile did he turn away from you? Because you were separated from Elohim because of your sin, so you were exiled from him. You know what Isaiah 59 and 1 say. His arm is not short that he cannot save, nor is his ear heavy that he cannot hear. It is your sins that have separated you from your Elohim. or put you into captivity. Because then he say in Isaiah 61 that the master said in Luke chapter 4 that he said that he came to set the captives free. Go ahead.
It says, turn again our captivity as streams of the south.
As streams of the what?
Of the south.
Then we read by streams in Joel. Go ahead.
It said, they that sow in tears shall reap in joy.
Those that sow in what?
And seed
in tears.
Sow in tears shall reap in joy.
What else?
He that goeth forth and weepeth beareth precious seed.
Though that who that goeth forth and what?
And weeping beareth precious seed.
I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Did Hamashiach go forth weeping? He definitely weep. What was the precious seed that he was bearing? Because you should remember from Isaiah 59 and 20 or Isaiah 53 that he said his seed will prosper. See, you already read it because you read Luke 8 and 10. And it said the seed is the word of Elohim. So what do you need? You need a seed to be able to do what? To reap a harvest.
Get up, Mar. Get up.
Didn't he though? Come on. Hush, boy.
Go to your room, one.
Hush, boy.
Hear that.
Go in your room. Go in your room. Go in your room. You lucky she's rewarding you for negative behavior.
Oh, he snatched her chips. That's what he was. That's why he was.
Go sit down. You gonna get that a dip for one, that ain't it.
Oh,
you ain't finishing.
He that goeth forth weeping, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again, rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him.
Now, what y'all think he mean when he say doubtless he'll come again, bringing his sheaves with him? That word for sheaves. That word for sheaves is aluma. That's something that is bound, but is also a figurative language for Yasharal coming from captivity. So he said he's going to come back, doubtless come again with rejoicing. That's what you need to sit your black behind down for. Hebrew. Either way it go, he black. Hebrew 9 and 23. Yeah, boy, go on, like that jump making my ears hurt.
What?
That L jump blowing right on.
Oh, let me get some off your ankle.
No, it ain't. That air ain't taking nothing over that. That jump throbbing.
Make sure my guests
But nah, that blood ain't dry because it wasn't that much blood in him yesterday. Or when I smashed it, the blood was down there.
So you gonna go to the doctor or not?
No, I'm gonna try to find a pen where I can do it myself. I just need to get the blood out. Once the blood come out, it'll stop throbbing. I can go to the gym tomorrow. If the blood don't come out, I can't go to the gym tomorrow because I can't grip the bar.
Do legs.
I still got to grab the bar, nigga. What, you gonna squat like this?
You don't have to do squats.
Hey, what's the purpose of doing legs if you ain't gonna squat?
I don't squat, so sorry. Do it all the time.
And I got a deadlift. Huh?
Or, nah, I ain't got chicken legs, man. Respectful.
Nigga, they ain't muscular legs, nigga.
They ain't chicken. They ain't toothpick.
Oh, they talking about they ain't cheap. Yeah, muscular. I'm talking about husky leg, boy.
Yeah, I want to be husky and chicken.
Man, my calf just started getting big. I can't talk.
This nigga said calves. Ain't nobody caring about no calves. I'm talking about some quads.
Man, alright, go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah, my quads. I'm straight on it.
He's
Heard the man. Hebrews
9 and 23. Who?
It was therefore necessary that the patterns of things of Shamayim should be purified with these, but the heavenly things themselves will be better sacrifices than these.
Yeah.
But Mashiach is not entered into the Kadash place made with hands, which are figures of the truth, but into Shamayim itself, now to appear in the presence of Elohim for us.
Yep.
Nor yet that he should offer himself often, as the high priest enters into the Kadash place every year with blood of others. For then must he often have suffered since the foundation of the world, but now once in the end of the world hath he appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself.
Bringing what?
And as he is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment.
Go ahead.
So Mashiach was offered to bear the sins of many, and unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto salvation.
You don't think it's going to be rejoicing? Because it said he'll come doubtless come again with rejoicing. Because didn't he tell him he was coming back? It said doubtless. Let's just get the Hebrew word for doubtless for a smarty art, nigga. The word for doubtless is both. And it is to go in, to enter, to come, to go, to come in, to be brought in, to bring near, to cause to come, to gather. So when it say doubtless he'll come again, it say he shall gather again. So let's what? Let's go ahead and get that then. Genesis 49 and 10. But see, you know this is at the end. But we're going to show you how he gathered during the time of his death and resurrection. Oh, Henry been put in jail.
Worldly punishment for the crime.
Hey, regard, he's still in jail. He, might just be in the holding cell.
He's doing.
He's in the holding cell. He gonna grab his cup and ring it up against the bars.
Genesis 49
and 10. Say nobody knows.
The scepter shall not depart from Yahuah, nor the lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come. And to him shall the gathering of the people.
Unto him shall be the gathering of the people. Now the next thing we have to do. Now of course we know when Pentecost is, and that is feast is called what? First fruits. But look here, right? There's another first fruit too, right? Let's look at that one, so you can sit back and see on that one there, because you got to offer those first fruit. And the same, I'll ask you this question according to the law: the first fruit that you got to offer on Pentecost, is it the same as the other first fruit that you have to offer? Well, let's look and see. Leviticus 23. Pick it up at verse 6. Goodness. Leviticus 23 and verse 6.
And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yahuah 7 days. Ye must eat unleavened bread. And in the first day ye shall have a Kadash convocation, and ye shall do no servile work therein. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuah 7 days. And in the 7 days of Kadash convocation ye shall do no servile work therein. And Yahuah spoke to Moses, saying, speaking to the children of Yasharal, and say unto them, when ye come into the land which I give you, and shall reap the harvest thereof.
Reap the what?
The harvest thereof. Mm-hmm. Then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits.
You bring a what?
A sheaf of your first
Well, let's see
fruit.
what word we get for sheaf here then. He say you got to bring a sheaf, right? Same thing we seen in we just seen the plural form of it, because you know the sheaves is plural. Now we get sheaf, we get a different one. We just get omer, and that's just a dry measure or a heap. So when you look at that heap, even though it would be a lot, that's singular. That's singular. One thing of fruit, not a lot of fruit, or not a hardwood barley, whatever you want to call it. Go ahead.
It says, and he shall wave the sheaf before Yahuah to be accepted of you on the morrow after the Shabbat. Shall the priest wave it, and ye shall offer that day when ye wave the sheaf of a he lamb without blemish in the first year for a burnt offering unto Yahuah. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2 tenths deal of fine flour mingled with oil. An offering made by fire unto Yahuah for a sweet savor. Mm-hmm. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, and the 4th of a hin. And ye shall eat neither bread nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto your Elohim. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Shabbat, and from the day ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Shabbat shall ye number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto Yahuah. Ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves and 2 tenth deals, They shall be a fine flour. They shall be baking with leaven. They shall be first fruits unto you.
Let's pause. Now he say you got to bring 2 wave loaves. Now of course the word for that is tenufa, and that is just a wave or offering. Also an offering of gold and brass, or just a technical term of a sacrifice. He said you got to bring 2 loaves of 2 tenth deals. When we look at tenth deals, that word is isaron, and that is a tithe. Then it also be a fine flour and be baking with leaven. When we sit back and we look at if it's baking with leaven, what do you think it would sit back and be realizing if it's saying it's baking with leaven? Say it has to be baking with leaven. Now, of course, he saw how he mentioned that, right? That Mashiach was unleavened with no sin, or that's bread that hasn't rised, right? Now you look at leaven as bread that is rised. He said that this has to be baking. That 2/10 deal of fine flour has to be baking. The wave offering was just grain, right? The first fruits has to be basically bread that's came full term, correct? Mm-hmm. So how does this Mashiach then?
For them become a sin.
Yeah, once he became holy.
I look at him become a sin. 11:17.
But in this instance, this ain't dealing with sin. Because this is an offering. They say this is the first fruits of Yah that you have to offer. So we looking at him keeping Pentecost is looking at that he is that offering that was made on Pentecost. Let's look and see how. Luke chapter 24 and verse 33. Because if you unleavened, would you be spiritual or would you be considered to be carnal? So if you were actually leavened, would you consider to be flesh or would you be considered to be spiritual? Now let's look and see. And let's see how he first fruits then. Because he said you got to be baking with 2/10 deals. Mm-hmm. He said this is fine flour. He said this is the first fruits of Yahuah. Come on.
Luke 24
and 33.
And they rose up the same hour and returned to Jerusalem and found the 11 gathered together and them that were with them, saying, Yahuah is risen indeed. The Master is risen indeed, and hath appeared unto Simon. Mm-hmm. And they told what things were done in the way, and how he was known of them in the breaking of bread.
Now I said, remember he said you'll bring out of your habitations. Keep that in mind. He said you'll bring it out your house. Mm-hmm. Come on.
And as they spake, Yahushua himself stood in the midst of them, saying, Shalom be unto you. But they were terrified and frightened, and supposed that they had seen a Ruach.
What else?
And he said unto them, Why are ye troubled? Why do thoughts arise in your heart?
And what did he tell them to do?
Behold my hands and my feet. That is, it is I myself.
And he told them
handle me.
Handle what?
Handle me.
Why?
And see, for the Ruach has not flesh and bones as ye see me have.
So wouldn't he be first fruits right there? Because he flesh and bone. Is he not baking with leaven? And did he not offer himself right before you? Because he said that's what the you got to sit back and realize that what he mentioned in Leviticus is what you're supposed to offer. See, like when them brothers be going over there for Pentecost, ain't none of them offering none of that. Look at what he said you got to offer. You got to bring out of your habitation. Where was his habitation for Yahushua to come bring this offering? The grave. Because see, hold on. Get me Romans 8 and 28 so you can see what I'm talking about. The grave. Because he's the first fruits of them that what? Slept. So if he the first fruits of them that slept, he has to, and guess what? If he's the wave offering, is he not appearing before Yahuwah when he resurrected from the dead? Is he not appearing before him? Is he not making, here's the offering. It's me. The same way that the Passover, he was the Passover offering. It's me. It's my body. Remember, what did he say his body was? It was bread. You know what I'm talking about? That's what he said in John, right? Then he said, if you look at the wave loaves, 2/10 deal, they shall be a fine flour, and they shall be baking with leaven. They are the first fruits under Yahuwah. If something's baked, what you got to put to it?
Fire.
So what did he go through?
Fire affliction.
You know what I'm talking about? So therefore, he's baking with leaven. He's bread and roll. He's the first fruits. He's offering himself. We're just dealing with what we read in the law, because that man got to fulfill everything that's written in his law. So what do we take from these two things? That this offering purged our sins and allow us to be able to present ourselves before Yahuwah and be accepted. Which is why he said the dead and Mashiach will rise first. And those that are with him that are awoke will go up in the sky and be with him forever. Because you will be the same as he is. That's why niggas who get up on the second resurrection ain't getting in. Go ahead, man.
Romans 8.
And 28.
And we know that
back it up. It might be 24.
They say, for we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why does he not yet hope for?
22. And also this case in the point of why we looked at the difference between sheaves and sheaf. Because the sheaf was a singular offering. Yahushua was a singular offering. But then that sheaf said that was representative of Yasharal returning from exile, or a bundle that you bring in. Go ahead.
23 is what you want.
8 and 23.
It says, and not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Ruach, even we ourselves grown within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why does he yet hope for? But if we hope for what we see not, then we do with patience wait for it.
Sit back and look at it. And did not Mashiach wait to be resurrected? To be weighed? Now how did he keep tabernacles? How did he fulfill tabernacles? Well, let's look and see. Matthew chapter 27 and verse 48.
And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink. The rest said, let us see whether Elias will come to save him. And Yahushua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the Ruach. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent twain from top to bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent. And graves were open, and many bodies of the Kadeshim which slept arose.
They said the minute the bodies of the Kadeshim did what?
Which had slept, they arose.
Would they not have been gathering themselves under him? Go ahead.
And they came out of the graves after his resurrection and went up into the Kadash city and appeared unto many.
So hold on, let's see what I'm telling you now. Now when he appeared the second time without sin unto salvation, like we read in Hebrews, will we not resurrect from the dead and be gathered with him? So was he not showing you what he was going to do at Tabernacles with these people resurrected from the dead? Because he got to keep he got to fulfill, he had to not only fulfill all three feasts, period. Because you know he fulfilled Pentecost by giving a Ruach, but he left. He got to fulfill Tabernacles by gathering us up when he returned. But he also had to fulfill each feast day while he was actually in the flesh. He actually had to do all three at the same token. Because that wave offering that he was, he's still baking with flour, with leaven, because he put on flesh. He had no blood in it, but he still put on flesh. And he was baking with fine flour or through heat or the furnace of affliction. And now you see him gathering up righteous men unto him at his resurrection. He got to keep all three. Come on back. I think we got everything I need out of here. Well, give me verse 19 in Exodus 23 again. Well, hold on. I got. Don't worry about verse 19. I got one more. I got a couple more things, and we're gonna slide. Go to Proverbs 22 and 8, and after that, Job chapter 4 and verse 5.
It says, he that soweth iniquity shall reap vanity.
He that what?
Soweth iniquity shall reap vanity. The rod of his anger shall fail.
Look here. Ain't that going back to what he said, that this man is not to be mocked? Read that again.
It said, he that soweth iniquity shall reap vanity.
You're going to reap nothing.
And the rod of his anger shall fail.
This is why the masters say that in vain they do worship me, going after the doctrines and commandments of men. Give me Job 4 and 5.
It says, but now it is come upon thee that thou faintest, it touches thee and thou art troubled. Is not this thy fear, thy confidence, thy hope, and the uprightness of thy ways?
Don't you realize? You know what he said? I can say that right. When stuff come on us, we be ready to fall out. But then he said, "That isn't this your fear? Isn't y'all your fear, your confidence, and your hope, and the uprightness of your ways? What you falling out for?" Go ahead.
It says, "Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same."
They that what?
They that plow iniquity and sow wickedness shall reap the same.
You're going to get the same thing back. This going back to what he said, you will reap what you sow. See, Hamashiach sowed righteousness, therefore he reaped everlasting life. Because he sowed to the Ruach, he reaped to the Ruach. But if you sow to your flesh, you will reap that. There's another place. Go ahead and give him Job 15 and 30. Make it 27.
Because he covered his face with his fatness, and maketh collops of fat on his flanks, and he dwelleth in desolate cities and houses which no man inhabited, which are ready to become heaps. He shall not be rich, neither shall his substance continue, neither shall he prolong the perfection thereof upon the earth. He shall not depart out of darkness, the flame shall dry up his branches, and by the breath of his mouth shall he go away.
Yep.
Let not him that is deceived trust in vanity, for vanity shall be his recompense. It shall be accomplished before his time, and his branch shall not be green. He shall shake off the unripe grape as the vine.
You see what he said
here? Off his flower as the olive.
You see what he said? Hypocrite gonna get. But there's another thing that clicked in my mind. How Mashiach kept tabernacles. Anybody got any idea how he did that in another fashion? Does anybody know what time of year when Solomon dedicated the temple? Anybody know what time of year it was? It was exactly at that time. It was in the 7th month on the 15th day that they did it. Now, what did Mashiach tell them people that they made an accusation that he said he would do something? He said he would tear down the temple and build it back in when? In 3 days. Now, when we look at they kept a feast for a whole in the same time period like they did with tabernacles, and we have to look at that Mashiach rebuilt the house or rebuilt the tabernacle for the same purpose like they did for the temple being built. And what did they like to bring into the temple? What did you have to bring in the temple? You had to bring your sacrifices and stuff in there? Now let's go read that Exodus 23 and 19.
It says, "The first of thy first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring into the house of Yahuah thy Elohim. Thou shalt not see the kid in his mother's
He said
milk.
the first fruits you shall bring it where?
Into the house of Yahuah thy Elohim. Thou shalt not see the kid in his mother's milk."
So you got to bring your first fruits into where?
Into the house.
So that means now let's look at something else, right? John chapter 12 verse 23 as we get ready to round it down. And after John 12 and 23, Galatians 5 and 21 or 23 or wherever that start at.
It says, "And you shall answer them, saying, The hour is come that the Son of Man should be esteemed. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, and it abide alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit."
So if it abide alone, it bring forth much fruit, but it has to die. You have to allow that. See, he read the verse where it said, you know, if it fall in the good ground. It has to fall in a good heart. A lot of people don't have good hearts. Let's go to Galatians 5 and 22. Because if it's died, this is the fruit it's going to bring. And this is the, hold on, before we get that there, pause. Malachi 3 and 8. Because then we read with that fine flour that they wanted that meant a tithe, right? That's why we got to do this. Malachi 3 and 8. Matter of fact, before you read Malachi 3 and 8, give me Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 11.
It says, "Then said I, Yahuah, how long?" He answered, "Until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without a man, and the land be utterly desolate. And Yahuah hath removed men far away, and there be a great forsaking in the midst of the land. But yet in it shall be a tenth, and it shall return and shall be eaten."
It shall be what?
It shall return and be eaten as a teal tree, and as an oak whose substance is in them when they cast their leaves. So the Kadash seed shall be the substance thereof.
So the Kadash seed will be the substance that the tree casts out. That's what it said. Now, what do most trees usually cast off? They cast off what? Fruit. Now, look, before we go to Galatians, give me John 15 and 3.
No.
Remember, he said the Kadah seed will be the substance. We already read the seed is the word of Elohim. He said you got to bring your first fruits into the house of Elohim. Go ahead.
Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except ye abide in me.
So have we ascertained that Mashiach is the house, and you got to dwell in that house?
Mm-hmm.
So now let's look at Galatians 5 and 22. No, Lizzie. Sit down and be still, Lizzie. Dang, I got all these puncture wounds. They just didn't get through.
It says meekness, temperance.
Hold on. Start from
I got you.
5 and 22.
I got you. But the fruit of the Ruach is love.
Pause. Love. That's the first thing we looked at last night when you looked at returning your enemy's ox or your brother's ox. That was love. Next thing.
Joy.
Joy. You sitting back looking at joy, or sitting back looking at how he said the poor would eat in the land. You know what I'm talking about? Let's look at the next thing.
Shalom.
Shalom. Go ahead.
Long suffering. Gentle.
Long suffering. We talked about the long suffering last night. Go ahead.
Goodness.
Gentleness and goodness.
Faith.
Faith.
Meekness, temperance.
Self-control.
Against such there is no law.
Mm-hmm.
And they that are in the Mashiach have crucified the flesh with the affections.
And that goes back to if you have a Mashiach, you wouldn't mix leaven with your sacrifice.
If we live in the Ruach, let us also walk
so
in the Ruach.
therefore, if you would live in the Ruach, you would walk in the Ruach, you'll be living in Elohim, you'll be walking in Elohim, and therefore you will bring that fruit into the house or into Mashiach. One more place, man. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 13. This is the reason why we're looking at this here.
You want the last verse?
Oh yeah, get Malachi 3 and 8.
You want the last verse?
No, you skipped Malachi. I wanted Malachi before we even got there.
Yeah, I had to play.
Yeah, you went ahead and read Galatians though.
Hard to please, man.
Kind of set the order there. Malachi 3 and 8 though.
It says, will a man rob Elohim? Yet ye have robbed me, but ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and in offerings.
You know how we robbing this man in tithes and offerings? Because you're not offering yourself.
Get out of there and shut the door.
You defrauding him because you ain't offering yourself. Go ahead.
No believe.
It said, ye are cursed with the curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation.
So that's why you got the curse of death on you, because you ain't brought your fruit, because you ain't offered yourself. Go ahead. I mean, every church say that, so they can get some money up out of you. Get people in there scared, and they come off that cash. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes down. Go ahead.
It said, bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there be meat in thine house. Mm-hmm. And prove me now herewith, said you of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of Shamayim.
So when he tell you to bring that meat into the storehouse, he telling you to come under him and be in him.
And I will pour out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it.
And he'll pour that Ruach on you. Now what we last part? 1 Corinthians 6 and 13.
It says meats for the belly and belly for meats, but Elohim shall destroy both it and them. Now the body is not for fornication, but for the master, and Yahuah and the master for the body. For Elohim will have both raised up the master, and will also raise up us by his own power. Know ye not that your bodies are members of the Mashiach? Shall I then take the members of the Mashiach and make them members of a harlot?
What?
Elohim forbid.
You ain't gonna bring in no sin in that man's house.
What? Know ye not
That's
that
good. You're not gonna bring no sin in that man's house. You got to bring forth fruits meet for repentance to enter into that man's house, for that to stay in the storehouse, because that's what they brought when they brought the tithes. They brought it in the temple. That's where they kept it at. So if we looking at bringing fruit into Mashiach, we need to bring meekness, we need to bring gentleness, we need to bring temperance, we need to bring love, we need to bring joy, we need to bring faith, and we need to bring shalom. Hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. We will stop right there. Everybody understood everything?